Okay, I think I'm ready. I think I am. Good day. Well, welcome, artist. Hello. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nice to see you all, too. I know. Hi. No, thank you. Hi, Barbara. I'll figure it out one day. I'm not an arts and craftsy person. How are you? Yes, I've done a bunch of lives before, actually. But they're kind of random, so it's not something everybody catches all the time. I actually said I was gonna do a live on the 1st of every month, and then I forgot that today was the 1st. I don't know why I thought it was still September, but here we are. Well, thank you. Focus. Hi, Tallulah. Yeah, the camera does that. It focuses on something black and then it goes out of focus. I'll give it a minute. And then we'll start. I got a bunch, actually, kind of all over the place. Well, good. I hope it's clear. I try to explain. I'm good, Gigi. Well, I got some random topics. Not all politic. Yeah, I'm trying to move a little slower instead of, flashing it so fast, especially with this camera angle. I don't know if it helps or not, but we shall see. I'm reading on a bunch of stuff, actually. How you doing? Mystic Monday. I use different decks just because, simply because I like variety. But as many who watch will tell you, sometimes the deck chooses its reading, and so it just happens that way. But I just really like variety. I have 70 now because I have 2 more on the way. So we will start. I've seen that. The tarot librarian. They're in this thing right here. If you can see, they're all in this thing. And it's a little thing that like rolls on wheels, like a little cabinet type thing. I am trying to design it, but I only have like 11 images, and so there's 78 total. So that's it's still a work in progress. Hi, Kathy. I didn't see you sneak in here. I still have it because I fixed it, sort of speaking. I threw one of the cards away because I thought it was an extra card. And the creator of the deck sent me a new one. So I replaced it. Well, I paid for it. They didn't send it to me. But they don't really send out specific cards. They send out random cards if you like want a sample. But they sent me a specific one because they were nice. Yeah, Jinlin does a lot of personal readings during the weekday. I think on Sunday is like her day off. And so she does her personal readings during the week. The deck is called Mystic Monday. So, Chris Collins is a representative, and he has pled guilty and resigned to insider trading. So I want to see what his fate is. Is he going to jail? Is he going to jail for a long time? Or is he just going to get the usual slap on the wrist? Or what's going to happen? Will justice be served here? Because he's not fighting it. He says he's guilty. And he stepped down and the whole bit. Insider trading. But let's see. That's what I think too. He's going to get a deal. But we have completion with the world card. I have to see where the camera is. So we got the world. Knight of Wands. Why do I pull 14 cards? I'll show you after the reading. Why do I do that? So there is Knight of Wands. It's 15, but I'll show you. Knight of Wands is a new action, something new in the world, something new to him. There's a completion, so complete of one thing, starting something new. Queen of Pentacles. This light is right on the cards, ain't it? And Wheel of Fortune. Fortune is turning, though, because there's a Tower. So this has all come to an end. So this is just like the setup right now. This is not telling us anything we don't know. So he has a lawyer. We've completed this task and we're on to a new one. There is the ending for him. It'll all come crashing down. So he's been caught. He's already done the whole. Here's the major change. The Death card. There's a law with the Queen of Swords. So it has caught up to him. His fear is 5 of Wands. Fighting and bickering. He kind of want to just takes his medicine in one big dose instead of a little at a time. He hopes for better plans, something sort of on the horizon that is going to benefit him. 6 of Wands, there is him, and behind him is some delusion with the 9 of Cups. So he may get what he wants in the end, but the warning is the King of Swords. This is the law itself. So when I get the Queen of Swords to me is the laws, as in the actual laws on paper. And then this is the legal system itself. So the legal system is not on his side. But 7 of Pentacles, he has money for when he gets out, he'll be fine. So his support system, and then the 5 of Swords. So either 5 months or 5 years. And it all depends upon his lawyers, what they can swing for him. If they get him a deal, then 5 months. And the deal would rest upon him sort of bringing down somebody else. I missed it. So if he can go and, sort of be the little fish in the big pond and bring about some justice to somebody higher up or other fish, then he will get 5 months. If she is not able to persuade, because I said the legal system is his word of warning. So if he's not able to persuade them for, I guess, being easy on him, then he gets 5 years. But we shall see. Chris Collins was who I was reading on. A representative from somewhere. I forget where. So why I draw 15 cards. So these 2 cards are the situation. This is what crosses the situation. These cards are just like supporting and surrounding energy. So I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is hopes, that's fears. 8, 9. This is environment, and then what's behind the scenes of the environment. This is warning, this is solace, and these are 2 cards for the outcome. So that's why I draw 15. Sometimes I just draw 10 because I don't need all that other information. I do enjoy it, Holly. I really do. I enjoy it a lot. New York, that's where. Yes, I do. It's a regular Celtic cross, but or at least the meanings of it, and I just use more cards. So, Fox News, apparently. Thank you, Elaine. So why do some breathers use reversals and others don't? Because they, simply put, they like reversals. It gives them sort of a different take on information. Like this is the Prince of Pentacles, so this is Knight of Pentacles. Reversed or upright, it could mean somebody you hire to do something. Reverse could mean someone taking advantage of you. And so when people use reversed cards, they like the basically that you get two meanings in every card. And so they really like to use reversals because it gives you a whole different outlook on information. I don't use them because I don't think it's necessary, but it is an integral part of tarot. So it's not bad to use them. It's actually good if you understand it. There's 78 cards in here, so I don't want even more. So I don't need more meanings to try to memorize. But those who use reversals, they use it very well. Like Mystic, she uses reversals sometimes too. And so they use it very well because they understand it right off the back. Me, I can't. Yes. Yes, and that makes sense. Because sometimes upright does not give you the exact answer. And so, but if you get it this way, it tells you something else. The name of this deck is the Druid Craft Tarot. So, Fox News. Apparently, they have been fighting back and forth with each other. That's the rumor. Fox Not News. Fixed noise, as Keith Olbermann used to call them. You know, sometimes, like when we put them back in the deck, sometimes mine will go reversed. But all you have to do is like separate your cards and then shuffle them like this. And that way half the deck is automatically reversed. Now, one deck that I have, this is the deck that I use reversals with. So if you ever see this one, then I'm going to do reversal. It's reversed because they all fell out and then they just ended up reversed. And so I just left them that way. So when I shuffle them, sometimes I shuffle them and then sometimes I just do like this. So I just reverse them myself. And that way the same card doesn't always become reversed. In that way, you don't ever get its upright meaning. You could just switch it back and forth. You wanted this deck? That's all right. It's like channel people. So it's nice, though. No, I've never seen that one. It's a Rider-Waite deck, but it's just Native American theme. Huh. I've never seen it. I've seen one. Well, they changed that one so many. I almost cut that out. I thought that was that sounded rude, but it was funny to me, so I said it. That was the weirdest story. Oh, you made it home. Hi, Elsie. Hi, Patricia. Okay. Is Fox News really fighting, or is this for theater? Are they really fighting? Because Donald Trump's impeachment is apparently causing some discord over there at Fixed Noise, and they don't know how to conduct themselves. So, first card we get, Ace of Wands, new actions, new everything. Are they really fighting with each other, or is this just for show? Ten of Pentacles. This is my GOP card sometimes. So they are unsure. because Trump has been kind of pissing them off for a little bit, and there are some that are diehard loyalists, and then there are some who believe that they should try to move on because he won't be the president forever. So they have to figure their image has to be something, hi Pauline, that does not always associate with Donald Trump. But let's see. Keeping story straight is very hard. King of Pentacles is on top of that. At the bottom, Four of Swords. There are some who have given up. Now, this is just like the rest card, but there are some who just refuse to continue to fall on that sword. Now, here's my thing. What's that man's name? Sean Hannity does. Absolutely. But here's my thing. I almost think like there's really no point in trying to fight this. You work at Fox Noise. No one thinks you're telling the truth, period. So it's not really necessary for you to come out and try to be some sort of a beacon of truth in the middle of Fox Noise. No one's going to believe you at all. It's propaganda TV. This is what you do. So you can just fall in love. Well, I mean, I guess I commend you a little bit on at some point coming around, but no. Then there's the Empress. So you want to start something new. You gave up one thing and trying to start something new. This is about brand new ideas, brand new life, birth, all that good stuff. So you're trying to stop and start something else. All centered around the man who controls it all, Donald Trump. The Chariot and the Three of Pentacles. But you're knee deep in this. The Chariot is a card that I have for effort. This you have been doing this for 3 years. You have been up his butt so long, I'm surprised you haven't all suffocated. And then you have the Three of Pentacles. You're all in this together. He commissioned you, you commissioned him. He spreads your stories and you spread his stories. You work together. You can sit this one out if you want to. That's fine. Because when the next Republican comes along, then you'll need to, whatever. But anyway, the fear. Hi, Marie. This is the fear. Now, you can read that both ways. They fear the fool or they fear the beginning. And I think you fear both. But whatever. Six of Pentacles. That's your hopes to share more information. Now, there is a bit of panic that I see. This is why you get this. There's a bit of panic on some that they don't want to, they don't want to go down with this ship. They think that this would be the end of Fox News, and it's not. Because Fox News is still the number one place where all deluded people get their news. They like this. They love this. They want more of this. So they will be back. They will be there. Thank you, Teresa. The Wheel. This is Fortune. Fortune's turning. And Three of Swords. No, fortunes are not turned. This is why this is you have two sides of the fence. This is exactly why you get this. Separation, Three of Swords, heartbreak, betrayal, all that stuff. And the Wheel. Your fortunes are turning and not for the best. So some of you, this is why the fool is the fear, and then this is the hopes. You hopes that Fox News' reputation, Fox News fixed noise reputation would not be damaged, but it is. The moment you attacked Barack Obama, that's when your reputation, this Trump, okay, he made it worse, but back then is when you started to really lose your reputation as a reputable source of anything, period. You want to share more information, you will be. Your warning, the high priest. This is the Hierophant. So morals, you all know what you do is wrong, but you do it anyway. This is why you will get more separation. This is why you will get more people stepping out. But it will be a slow trickle out of Fox News. It will not be people just protesting it. It will be people refusing to do certain stories or the job that they've been hired to do. And therefore, Fox News will let you go slowly but surely. And they'll replace you with somebody who will. Two of Wands is your hopes or your word of solace. So the future does hold something for you. It's just not materialized yet. And then the Queen of Cups, which is the support system and the devil behind it. So you are going to go through a very hard time over the next 6 years, but you brought it upon yourself. So I shall not weep for you, Argentina. Yeah, they're very unknowing about what's going on behind them. Living fat on the hog, as they say. Oh, I did see a mouse fell off the ceiling. The White House is one place in the world that should not have bugs and mice. I think, yeah, they don't care anymore, the people who work there. Oh, that's nasty. Hello, RD. Yes, they have rats, apparently. Of all places on Earth, that is one place that should never have a pest problem. I mean, I guess they have walking, talking, two-legged pests. They might as well have the rest of them. So, speaking of stories, we started 30 minutes ago, sort of, because I waited like 10 minutes. Anyway, what was I saying? Net neutrality. Okay, so will net neutrality be corrected in the next administration? Net neutrality is basically where all websites on your service provider, AT&T, Comcast, whoever, thank you, Elaine. Net neutrality basically says all websites get the same speed. And if you get rid of net neutrality, that basically says that companies like AT&T and Verizon, Comcast can charge a company more money for faster speed. So, and they can even slow down some other websites or even block some websites if you get rid of net neutrality. So let's say I have a tarot company and I sell tarot cards. Thank you, R&E. And Amazon sells tarot cards. Amazon pays AT&T to move their website faster, and I can't pay as much as Amazon, being that, thank you, Gigi, thinking that Jeff Bezos is the richest person on earth, even after the divorce. He pays AT&T. His website moves faster. Mine moves slower. People go onto my website. It frustrates them because it goes so slow, so they go to Amazon to get their tarot card. So right now, Ajit Pai is the man who is in charge of the FCC or whatever it is. He's gotten rid of net neutrality, or he has tried to get rid of all of it. And so I want to know, would it be corrected in the next administration? So we have Nine of Cups, wishful thinking. Four of Cups, bad offers. Two of Pentacles, struggling for balance. Ace of Wands, new action. It could be some censorship because they could block certain websites if they don't pay up, but it just seems like ransom to me, because it's kind of like you go to Netflix and say, hey, Netflix, I see you got all those subscribers there. It would be a shame if your speed slowed down. And then Netflix will say, okay, how much do you want? And then Netflix has to pay out. Then Netflix comes to us and raises the subscription price because they just had to shell out a bunch of money. And the Chariot. So this would be a slow walk. So this is what I got already. So with the delusion, this would be sort of like, I think a lot of us feel, and I feel this way too. If we go to a new administration, there's a lot that feels like it should change everything. Like you want to be able to change everything with the new administration. That's delusion, because there's bad offers, which means this person is still going to have, even with a Democratic majority, some Democratic majority compromises. And I have another reading I need to do on that too. So it's not like they go in with a majority of like-minded people just because they're all called Democrats. Because on top of both of those is the struggle to balance. And then you have new actions, but you have the Chariot. The Chariot is a card of victory and triumph, but there's a lot of effort involved, as in you have to train your horses, you have to train your rider, you have to train your this. And we got 5G here in Florida now, sadly, but we got it. And there's a lot of effort, but there is not this, there's not this overwhelming, sweep of everything Trump has done. I don't know where it is. I don't know what neighborhoods it is. I guess I need to look that up. And we have the Lover's card and the Three of Swords. Yeah, the new administration is not going to be able to change everything. There's just, you have some compromises they have to meet too. The Moon, the fear of the unknown, fear of the mystery, the details. That is the Eight of Pentacles. So they can work on it, obviously, but again, this is not some overnight thing. King of Pentacles in the environment. Six of Swords. Painful transition from that guy. Yeah, I had to get when I lived in I lived in the hood too. When I had to get Cox Cable is what it was called there. I don't know if y'all have that there, but that's what I had to get. AT&T was not coming around us. The hair effect. The government is in the warning. The government is, especially as of the last 10, 12, 15 years, they are horrible at solving anything. So your warning is the government. Cancellation. Page of Pentacles. So new administrations do bring new people, but I think this is a problem that pressure from the youth will solve. Queen of Wands, a woman in charge and hope for the future. So the moment you get a female president, I think more will change, but definitely some females in charge. Like if we could get a woman in charge or the Speaker of the House as well as the Senate Majority Leader, then you'll see more things change. As long as it's not one that owes a bunch of companies a bunch of money. Because the FCC has Ajit Pai, but the FCC under Obama had the guy who used to work for Comcast. So it's not something that they're just in a rush to change. So, Giuliani got subpoenaed. Good night, Marie. Giuliani got subpoenaed, and he is not happy. Giuliani. Oh, Rudy Giuliani. Yes, Rudy Giuliani. So Rudy Giuliani, he has gotten subpoenaed. He has just got him. He hired a lawyer. He hired one of the Watergate attorneys. Oh, the plantation. You know, I used to call my job the plantation too. Good night, Tallulah. But yeah, was too much. He got subpoenaed. Oh Lord. Good night, Pauline. So here's what I want to know. Is because he's not the person that him and Donald Trump are not the people you need to have talking about anything. Period. Donald Trump, hey, how you like that cheeseburger? Oh, this cheeseburger is pretty good. You know, they're really good in Russia too, but no collusion. It's like nobody asks you all that. Just say it's good and stop talking. So Rudy Giuliani, hopefully, well, I guess not hopefully, but he should listen to his lawyers. Stop going on cable TV and speaking about anything. But I fear as though, I shouldn't say I fear as though, I feel as though he will not. He will continue to talk and talk and talk and talk. So I want to know the fate of Rudy Giuliani. 10 of Wands. So there's some heavy burden. Six of Swords. Some transition. So burden and transition is where we start. Four of Swords. So as of right now, He is going to go into silent mode, at least a little bit. Page of Cups, but emotions will get the better of him. And here's another thing. In order to go and just be silent about all this that him and Trump need to be silent about, they have to turn the TV to something other than news. Because when they start looking at all these stories and then their name comes up, then the first thing they do is reach for all these things and then start typing messages that they shouldn't. And then they want to go on Chris Cuomo and Anderson Cooper's and all these people and then say stuff they shouldn't say. So emotions will get the better of him because he has no idea how not to say something. When I did the reading with Lena, he's a narcissist too. The closer you get to people who are narcissists, the more narcissistic you become. Nine of Swords. Anxiety. Worry. Stress. This is what gets the better of him. He doesn't know how not to talk. Just go on, don't say nothing. Knight of Pentacles. And they're paying for everybody's legal fees, aren't they? Like Don Jr. and all them people. Page of Pentacles or Knight of Pentacles. So this is you hiring someone. Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords. Being trapped, being bound. This is your lawyers trying to keep a leash on you. I don't think that's going to happen. That's what I say too. Let them talk. Give them 10 microphones. Let them talk to everybody. Eight of Pentacles is your fear, the work you do. And the 10 of Swords. Rudy Giuliani, Mike Pompeo, William Barr, Donald Trump. They all left a paper trail. Two different things. All of them. They all left a paper trail. Barr will not resign, I don't think. Knight of Wands. His action. Two of Swords. So after your lawyers get to you and say, quit speaking, just sit down, shut up. Thank you, Elsie. He does it. Not only does he not, he starts something new. And then I think one of his lawyers may resign. At the very least, there will be a story of potential resignation. Hi, Cynthia, because of actions that he's taking. But if he corrects his behavior, then all will be well. But it's hard to fight a case in court when your client is making it harder for you. That's the defense's job, or the prosecutor's job. So if my client is also making it hard for me, then what I need to do is let you go off to somebody else. Queen of Pentacles. There again, I don't know who it is, but when we did our live stream on Patreon, a woman came up and I said she is going to make a lot of trouble for Rudy Giuliani, and I don't know who it is, but here it is again. I don't know if she's a lawyer. I don't know if she's a judge. I don't know if she's an outside person, but there is a woman who is going to make things very difficult for him. Ace of Pentacles has something to do with money too. 10 of Pentacles and 6 of Wands. So it has something to do with not just money, but maybe who you work for, maybe who is a company or something like that. And it could be something to do with real estate, but a woman is going to make some trouble for you. So over the next couple months, what you should do is be quiet. Let your lawyers do lawyering jobs. But if you don't, they will threaten to resign because you won't quit talking. Zuckerberg. So Zuckerberg said that if Elizabeth Warren is elected, she is going to come after him. And she said him, or he said him, but more along the lines of Facebook. And he said that he is prepared to fight her legally, and he is going to win, is what he said. So this is not a predictive thing because she has not been elected. But what I want to know is if she is elected, will she go after Facebook? Not Zuckerberg, Facebook, and be successful. And then we'll look at Zuckerberg and see what he's all about right now. He's real different. He's real different. So that's his first card. Something from or their first card. Something from the past, and then money in the end. So will she be successful going after Facebook? Two Swords. And the Fool. So there is something from the past. This is her. She's already had this as this idea, but she reaches roadblocks because she can't really force the hand right now. But there will be a beginning. I wonder, will she be president? Reason why this is a beginning. Knight of Cups. So the chivalry. Ace of Pentacles. So there seems to be a like she could get money out of Facebook, but it's not. She wants to break the hold Facebook has on the country, basically. It's not necessarily a monopoly, but it operates as one because nobody really challenges it. They own Instagram, so it's not like you can say, I'm leaving Facebook, going to Instagram. They own that too. So there's only thing left is Twitter, and Twitter is its own different kind of animal. So she does like get some sort of something from them, some sort of recompense, but it's not really a victory right now. Two of Cups and Judgment. So she gets others to sign on to this. That is how you get anything done, is to get other people, even if they don't even understand what's going on. Because a lot, and this is a problem with a lot of the senators and congressmen, is this new age stuff like social media. They just don't get it. And so she can get other people to sign on, people of like mind, then she'll be all right. Seven of Cups. So that's the fear. Fear is confusion. Just like I just said, they don't get it. The Emperor, the person in charge, is the hope. So she does, of course, want to be in charge. The Sun, confirmation. And Two of Wands, big plans. So in the hypothetical, she's president here. Now, walking away from it is the word of warning. Don't give up because it's going to be difficult. He has a lot of money. He too is a billionaire, so beware. Try anyway, because fortunes turn, and that is in your solace. And then there is a celebration around the big money. So they may win in the end, but she will take a stab at you. Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg. The only person that bothers me is Mitch McConnell. Mark Zuckerberg. Who you be? Mark Zuckerberg. Who you be? I just want to look at him. That's it. That's enough. Mitch McConnell is worm poop. We have the Chariots. Hardworking. Who? Who is? Because not. Okay. What crosses it? Hardworking. And money. Lots of money, like security money, like I could now retire money. So it's been a long road from the days of MySpace to here, but he's here. Work. These are in the past. Indecision. This is where he fell apart. Chasing this. Because this is not just hard work. This is a lot of effort put behind something. And then this is, you're tired after all of it all. But you put a lot of effort into this. Or, excuse me, a lot of effort would put into this. And then there's the money. Because rumor has it, this is a stolen idea. That this Facebook is not yours, it was someone else's. Now, I didn't see the movie. Apparently, all this came out in the movie social media, but there you go. But this is where he fell apart. Do I or don't I? And then he does. This is taking on a new action. Taking on a new action and new money, new responsibilities. This is when you sold your company to Russia, basically. There you go. It's like I saw that coming or something. The environment is the burden. This is why people hate you now. You hope for a change in fortune, change in the better, change in the laws, maybe even, and then it leaves you with regret. So you do have some regret here. But a part of me is very callous, and therefore I say you should have known better. So I can't wait for you either when your life takes, a tailspin and then people spit at you in the street. You should have known better. Now, Donald Trump wants to meet the whistleblower. He said he should be able to meet his accuser. And on one hand, I agree. On your hand, I do not. So, will he ever meet the whistleblower? And if he does, what's going to happen? I fear that too. And if he does not, why not? I love this thing. So let's see. Snakes and alligators, really? What an asshole. I see him. Snakes and alligators. Oh, Jesus, Christian. So stupid. Eight of Pentacles. So, thank you, Lords. So there is something around the work, so naturally. Two of Wands. And Two of Pentacles. So they are planning, they just don't know how to execute because they don't know who it is either. There's another Two of Cups and the Hierophant. So he wants his stooges to find out who this person is and bring them to me. Fighting and Judgment. So he does not have the best of intentions. Six of Pentacles, Six of Cups. So yeah. And the Goddess of Pentacles. So he does not, he wants to meet the person to threaten and discredit. That's what he wants. To threaten and discredit. I don't see a meeting here though, but there's anxiety and the devil. And this is the worry about a lot of this is that if you put the whistleblower in the same room as Donald Trump, a week later, they will not be all right. Let's look at, though, Donald Trump's intention. Donald Trump's intention with this whistleblower. Do you just want to meet your accuser, or do you want to know who they are so that you can do something crazy? What is your intention? Four of Swords. The Hierophant. And the Fool. So your intention, like I just said, this is a card I have for, oddly enough, for death. Four of Swords sitting out. But this is also be a card for therapy, as in mental anguish, because you have the hardship card here at the top. Then you have investment here at the bottom. You have done this before, or others for you have done this. And then the morals are compromised by something foolish. So I don't see you're going to meet this accuser, but because they have offered to allow that person to testify behind closed doors. It's really interesting that his wall goes through private land or private property, and it's a golf course of all places. And it's owned by white people, not Mexicans, and they are none too happy. So, California has recently approved a law that says the NCAA has to pay college athletes for their service. LeBron James and Bernie Sanders are sort of championing this cause to get college athletes some restitution, get them some sort of payment. And California has just passed it. And pause for the cause. There. California has just passed it. Pennsylvania too? Okay. So, will the NCAA appeal this decision? Because they think, or they say, that these are basically interns because they're getting an education. And so they don't need to be paid because they're getting paid with their scholarship and their tuition. Yes, they get the tuition. And so what they want, though, is some sort of compensation, because everyone who plays college sports does not make it to the pros, number one, and does not make it to the pros 100%. Does not even make it out of college 100% because it's a wear and tear on the body. So, should they be paid? That's up for debate, but will they appeal? Let's see. Well, there's justice, so we're already in the legal system here with the first card. Crossed by the High Priestess. So this is like some little backroom things, and they are going to fight it. The Emperor. So now we're in court. And the Hangman. So now not only are we in court, but we are going back and forth. We are stuck. This is possibly a legal battle even. But there's some delusion here. I don't think they are able to stop this, the NCAA. And then there's the King of Cups. I think that's LeBron. So he's involved heavily with this. The Fear, Four of Cups, an offer you don't want. And then there's the King of Wands. Now we have Burning. The Hierophant. The government will be on your side. I think maybe down the line, but at the very least, the structure of it. And then there is Money. But would they appeal? They will, but I think they lose this anyway. They will not be successful in that appeal to sort of force colleges to pay student athletes. Now, I don't know what they'll be paid. And like I said, I think it was another reading I did about LeBron and Bernie teaming up, is a lot of times they say what they're doing is being paid for their services within education. But they don't necessarily get a quality education, because they did a story on one of them night lines or day lines or daytimes or whoever. And basically, they have a lot of paper classes, and paper classes are where you are getting credit for that class, but you're not actually there. And one of the paper classes they give, a lot of them, is Swahili. And you get credit for that class, but you don't actually go, because they had a lot of the student athletes there. And the man who was doing the reporting said, "Do you actually speak Swahili?" And he said, "No." "Have you ever been to the class?" He said, "No." So their education is not necessarily on par with somebody who is there for political studies or something like that. They're just there for their talents. And if they're there for their talents, that's when LeBron and Bernie are basically saying, well, pay them, because they're putting their bodies on the line for real sport. So, yeah, there's that. So, I shouldn't laugh, but I'm laughing. Stacey Dash has been arrested for domestic squabble with her husband. She got arrested, but she says that he assaulted her, but she the one went to jail. Stacey Dash used to be an actress on a movie called Clueless way back in the day. And she most recently, like 2 years ago or something like that, she was a contributor on Fox Noise. And she made headlines when she said there should be no such thing as Black History Month, because there's no such thing as White History Month. There should be no BET, and there should be no BET awards. There should be no NAACP, because white people, it's not balanced. White people don't have what Black people have, because Black people got historically Black colleges, but there's no historically white colleges. And so she was on TV saying this mush nagas. And so here she is. Got a mugshot and everything. So I want to know what happened. And as I think it was Roland Martin, I think he said, they don't call them historically white colleges because we just, or historically white universities, because we simply call those universities. And so here we are. So what happened, Stacey? I'm gonna get in your business now. What happened? Did you assault him and you got arrested? Did he assault you and then you got arrested? Did y'all just assault each other? And spell that mush nagas. I don't know how to spell mush nagas. Ask Siri. I think that's enough. So, Stacey Dash got a dash on her face. That's all she had. I'm gonna stop. So, Eight of Wands started with communication. It started with talking. And here's the thing, Stacey. I don't think he needs to go to jail because it's not equal. We have BET, so you should be able to go to jail and not have to. So you go to jail. It starts with communication. They had some talking back and forth, some arguments, some I don't like you, and da 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 da. Then there is the Page of Wands. Mashugana. Two of Cups. Paper classes. That's the first time I heard it was on that. It was a special Nightline or Dateline or somebody's line. Five of Wands, and then we start fighting. Then we started fighting. After y'all got together, the problem is, here's what I think the problem is. You started arguing from different sides of the room, and the closer you got, the more louder it became. You were fine until y'all start gravitating towards each other. And then somebody swung, and there you go. But it's not completely clear, so he was not innocent in the whole thing, but you hit him. And that's what's sad, is she did work for BET on a show called The Game. And she had a sort of like, not recurring role, I guess it was a recurring role. Not only that, she was on the cover of all black magazines, and it was an all black magazine called The King, where she had her ass hanging out. She was on that too. And then went to Fox and always talking about there should be no such thing as Black History Month in BET. And then BET sent her a tweet saying, okay, can we get our check back then? And she ain't had nothing to say. Queen of Cups. Nine of Coins. So you fear security. This was a home squabble. Like you started off on, it was a recurring issue. So like, what are you spending this money on this for? It was a recurring issue. It was one of those things. Yeah, Ten of Swords is a great loss, though, especially reputationally. The Hermit, isolation, and then strength. So, strength. I don't know what strength means. Three of Cups. So somebody has got somebody backing somebody up, basically, which doesn't mean a whole lot, but I just want to know what happened. So you two embroiled over money, and then you went to jail. So there you go. Okay, so this one is interesting. And it requires my telephone here. I did a reading on the right to be forgotten, which is something that a man proposed a while ago because he had a mortgage business or something like that, and it went horribly south, and his reputation was a bit ruined in his current state. So he switched states, but the information is still there. So he proposed a thing, I don't know if it was a law or what it was, called the right to be forgotten. And so he wants basically the information. No, this is my job. He basically wants his information to be erased in this state because it's affecting his reputation over here. So there's the right to be forgotten. And mind you, a lot of people did not necessarily know who he was until he proposed this law. And so then everybody had his information. So now there are two other people. This guy's name is Carson King. Carson King was sitting behind someone at some sort of game or something like that. And he says, I need money for a 12-pack of beer and I'll donate the rest to charity or something like that. He had a sign, you know, the big giant sign that you hold up at sports games. People thought it was funny, so they donated money to him. And he indeed bought his 12-pack of beer, and he indeed said the rest of the money was going to the children's hospital, which is nice. However, this, of course, gained a lot of statewide attention. And as a result of being in the public eye, people start digging in your background. And there's a company, Busch Light, said that they were going, this is the can. They made a can with his face on it and everything. Like they had a can of Busch Light made for him and everything. It was ready to go. But it was some reporter at some newspaper that went in his background, went in his Twitter page and found where he was making racist remarks. And he compared black mothers to gorillas on his Twitter page. So Busch Light said, okay, we're not doing a deal with you. Good day. And all the rest. So he came out and, of course, did the whole apology thing. Now, here's how it gets even more interesting. The reporter who broke this story also has racist comments on their Twitter page. So that person has now since been fired from that newspaper. So, now, here's another story, okay? Here's this lady. She's auditioning for The Color Purple. And she's going to play Alice Walker's novel. She's going to play Celie on Broadway. And her last name is, I forget what her first name is, but it's like Mumba or something like that. But her father's a pastor. So on her Facebook, she types in a discussion about homosexuality. She said, it's clearly evident in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9 through 11, what the Bible says on this matter. I do not believe you can be born gay, and I do not believe homosexuality is right. So the day after she got the role for Celie on Broadway, she got fired. So they said, we're not dealing with you at all. And agents in her city, there are 6 of them that she tried to contact. One of them called her back and said that you are talented but misguided. The other one said that they're not dealing with her, period. So she said she is now suing the company or the Broadway show for wrongful termination. Because she said she said her mistake was not what she quoted, because these are her beliefs. Her father is a pastor. She said her mistake was not putting her page private. So she feels as though you shouldn't be able to use that against her. And so she's suing. I said all that to say what? I'm going to do a reading on remorse. I want to see, is she remorseful? But you know what? I'm going to switch. Let's do this. Good night. Let's do this. Is he remorseful? Is she remorseful? Carson King. Because here's my thing. He is getting caught. So that's my thing. But I'm trying to leave this up to the cards. I just think they just got caught, and there you go. Because mind you, when they put those tweets out there, they put out there what's in their heart. So you can only put out there at least, because then nobody tweet that for you. That's another thing, Melissa. They was like, Celie is rumored to be gay. Do you know that or not? That's, I guess that didn't bother her. She wanted that role, but is he remorseful? I want to see. Yes, she's not remorseful. But is he came out and did the whole apology tour and said that he was, because mind you, he did this when he was 16 with the whole mother and gorilla thing. He's now like 22. So he says he's matured and he's grown up, but I do question an environment that you grew up in that could produce a 16-year-old with racist thoughts. So anywho, is he remorseful? By the book, this is conformity, following the leader, respecting traditions. So I think, like I just said, look at me predicting. You grew up in an environment which allowed you to be this disgusting. So are you remorseful is what I'm asking. Co-create. Interesting. This is a partnership to create something else. Time for a nap. Rest, relaxation, rejuvenation. I truly believe, just like you just said, it is not remorse. It's I got caught. Now I'm sorry. Something in you thought that was funny enough to post. Something in you thought that was disgusting enough to post. And then when it hit the fan, because you tried to do something good, and I commend you for doing that for the Children's Hospital. This is Carson King. He's not famous. So there was a whole story. I won't go back through all that, but there's not remorse. It's I got caught and I don't know what to do. But I'll apologize because, and it's what they do. I was stupid. I was immature. I was this, I was that. And now I've grown up and now I'm grown and now I'm this. And okay, I still question you because there's something in you that allowed you to say those things. There's something in you at some point that allowed you to do those things. So there is something in you that is not resolved just because you aged chronologically. And there you go. I don't think it's much difference, but I still think you are who you are. Now, this preacher's daughter, I'm not going to use these for her. I want to see, because this is something I need some detail on other than that. That's why I got this. So, she's not remorseful. She didn't say sorry for nothing. So he said he did an apology. That's what I was wanting to know, remorse. She is not remorseful. She said that she should have just put her page private instead of all y'all getting about business. So there's something flipped over here. Let's put it out. That makes sense too, though. So she said that she's going to sue because she quoted 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 6, what is it? 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9 through 11. Now, she didn't quote the scripture. She just put it out there. She says what the Bible says on this matter. I do not believe you can be born gay, and I don't believe homosexuality is right. So, Oh Lord, that's the greatest comment I've ever seen. Corinthians 27, don't be an asshole. Oh wait, let me put this one. Now throw it off. Oh Jesus. I got too many cards here. Where's all this? Oh, okay. Breathe and start over. So, what's going to happen with her case? Is she going to win? Is she going to wait? I just realized something. I didn't ask the questions. I just picked the cards. I'm thrown off. Okay. I'll figure it out. Oh, Corinthians 27. Don't be an asshole. But that's another thing, though. Why is it that you pick the stuff in the Bible that is potentially harmful to another person's relationship with the divine? You pick that to talk about. Why not pick something lovely to talk about, like Corinthians 27? You know, treat other people kindly, all this kind of stuff. But no. Now, mind you, I will say this. The question was about homosexuality. So it's not like she just put that on somebody's page. That's what the conversation was about. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Will she win her case? No, but let's do it anyway. She doesn't believe it's right. Now, here's the thing, because she said you can't be born gay. And I'm not doing a reading on that because here's the test, and this works every time. If you think a person can choose their sexuality, all you have to do to prove it wrong or right is choose yours. Choose yours, change it right now for like 3 seconds, and then change it right back. I want to see you do it. So, will she lose her case? Will she win her case? Her first card, King of Pentacles. So she's got some backup. This, for whatever reason, feels like her mother. Or not mother, but father. And then there's some sorrow at the end, but let's see. Yeah, cherry pick the verses indeed. Justice. So maybe this is interesting. Now, here's what's crazy. Is a lot of people have been getting away with, I can be discriminatory in my business, like the people who wouldn't bake the cake. And then there's another company in Arizona who wouldn't make wedding invitations. And so they've been getting away with this, but this is different. This is someone who hired you. And then upon investigation of your beliefs, they say what you believe does not match our company's value, so they can easily go with the whole company value thing, and we're letting you go because they don't have to hire you and keep you on. Can you be born one? Exactly. So this is okay. Let's keep going. High Priestess. This is my card personally for religion because it's like a inner knowledge, something you keep to yourself. Even though the Hierophant is technically the religious card, but it feels more like religious institution. This is like religious belief. So this is what's in the middle. This is what's called into question right here. Now, here's the thing that I don't really care for in these type of situations is that she becomes a martyr, like that Kim Davis lady who refused to sign marriage certificates for same-sex couples. And then next thing you know, the right is holding her up in this great esteem and this great honor because she got fired. And then all her business came out that she'd been married 4 times. And so, which ain't nothing wrong with that, but according to Christian belief, it is. So her internal knowledge, her personal belief is what I kind of fear might make her a martyr. And I don't want to see her as a martyr because I don't think personally she deserves to be. Because this is just some archaic belief that you are carrying around. And so, anyway, moving on. That's a whole soapbox thing, so I won't go there. But there she is, at the base of it all. And then here she is commissioning some help. So she's getting attorneys and things like that. But she got this belief from him. Thank you, Kathy. And that's not God. That's somebody else. Yes, Kim Davis, the woman who refused to sign marriage certificates for same-sex couples, was married 4 times. Page of Wands. There's messages, news, testimonies, affidavits, Ace of Cups. This is going to be a bigger story than she probably believes. The Hermit. So this is her searching for answers. But she fears what they will find. Now here's the thing. Exactly. She is not going to enjoy this. This is going to create a bigger stink than probably necessary. Like, I know she feels slighted because this is how she believes, and she feels persecuted for her religious beliefs. But her religious beliefs are not saying I have to wear a headdress because it's part of my religious beliefs, and therefore you're firing me for my headdress. That's wrongful termination. Saying I don't think you're right or that you're some sort of deviant because you're gay is not something you can stand upon as a good excuse for your religious beliefs. This is not something traditional. This is something one person wrote down somewhere and then you took it and ran with it. Your hope, or this is what you hope for, is that you will come out in the end a bigger, brighter, better person. 10 of Swords is in your environment. This is your loss that you are currently going through right now. 7 of Pentacles. This is something invested in you, seated in you. This is not something that you were, I guess. Yes, exactly. Melissa, you're the psychic. This is just what I was about to say. She's just, her religion has done this to her. And that's, I used to be Christian. I still believe in God and the Holy Spirit and all that. I just don't believe the Bible is the word of God. I believe it's people's words since people wrote it. There are some nice, lovely things in there. So you can still read it and take it and even live by it. But if something is stupid and doesn't make sense, throw it away. Take it out. Ignore it. Whatever it is you got to do. All of it does not make sense. The Bible also says that, and this is as a woman, Miss Amumba, or whatever your last name was, that your husband shouldn't sleep in the same bed as you when you're on your menstrual cycle. That's in the Bible too. So if you're on your period, he's not even supposed to be in the same house. So every time you're on your cycle, does he need to go to a hotel? You can't wear 2 different types of cloths, exactly. And so you can't eat shrimp, you can't eat pork. There's a lot of things you just can't do, and a lot of things in there that just don't make sense. Not to mention, this is the same book that has 2 guys sitting having a conversation. Hey, Bob. Hey, Dale. How you doing? I'm good. Hey, your daughter is fair to look upon. Yeah, she ain't bad. I'll give you 2 donkeys and a cow for her. And then they sell their children to the highest bidder, and then they have house maidens. This is the same book. They treated women like property instead of like people. Thank you, Bob. So I'm not saying you can't believe it. I'm not saying don't read it, don't be a Christian, none of that. What I'm saying is question. If something doesn't sound right, it's probably not right. Ask God first, and then go to your book and see what it says. If God himself never told you gay people are wrong, then it's not wrong. If God never told you that stealing is wrong, then it's not wrong. But he has told you that. Your conscience pricked you. So therefore you know it's wrong. Get your ideas, get your inspiration from elsewhere. But anyway, like I said, this is why I keep holding this up. It's seated in her. This is not something she's going to realize overnight. It's probably not something she's going to realize, period, because she feels like a victim here. Instead of taking a step back and saying, oh, am I wrong? No, she took a step back and said, you've wronged me. Now I'm going to sue you. There is your word of warning, though, that this is done. It's complete. The cycle is over. You can sue, but you will not get this job. And ultimately, that's what you wanted. Queen of Swords. There is some laws, maybe something, a loop you can jump through, but you will lose your case. There is a completion. You will lose this case. That's another thing. Like, you really want a job where a lot of people don't like you? Not to mention, I mean, this is just stereotyping, but how many people in the theater do you think are heterosexual? So, it's, anyway. Well, good you're here, JJ. So, I want to do, not this one. Here we go. Wash your ears. Stephen Miller. I just want a update. I know. Wash your ears, I say. What is this? Stephen Miller and Marsha McBride. What is the girl's name? I forget already. Marsha Warden, I think is her name. Or Martha Warden, something like that. Stephen Miller. Because as someone said, even Hitler had a girlfriend, so why not Stephen Miller? Hitler didn't have a girl. Hitler had a beard, if you ask me, but that's just me personally, what I think. You know, look. 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 I say if he was the last man on earth, I would have to turn to animals, I think. I couldn't. Mm-mm. 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 Lord have all the mercy indeed. I couldn't. I couldn't. Mm-mm. I'd be in the field chasing down deers and horses. I couldn't do it. Stephen, no? Hell no. So, Four of Disc, or the Four of Pentacles. This is where he is. He is clinging to something that he knows is wrong, and he is trying to move forward with something. Because look at the image. Like, the person wants to get through the door. The key is on the ground, but they won't let go of the things that hinders them. So he's trying to do something, but it's not working out right now. And Seven of Swords. Yeah, he's trying to get away with something. And he really wants whatever it is. He's an asshat. I love that word. He's trying. There's something behind here he really wants, but he might get caught if he goes for it. But he really wants it. I wonder what it is. Four of Cups. He's discontented with his current life. Or his current... Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Current life. He's discontented with something. Like something is weighing very heavily on his mind. As screwed up as it is. If I find out, please don't tell you. Bye, Susan. Three of Disc. This is very interesting. It might be personal. Because most... Good night, Roach. There is most of his readings are about political this, but from what I hear, his family hates him, basically. And so here you have the artist, the person who makes the plates. This is the person they commission. But then you have a younger guy. It's usually two older people commissioning the art, but you have someone younger who looks to be a child, because then here's his mother or something like that. So maybe this is something on the home front. Like there is either a woman who treats him like a child or a woman who is his mother indeed, and they have a very bad relationship. His family hates him. This is what the rumor was, because they're basically immigrants too. They're Jewish and lots of other things in their background that he has victimized people for. And so his family has come out. I've heard, I never read this. I've heard that they've come out and condemned his behavior because he was raised Jewish and all this other type of things. But all throughout high school and college or wherever, he would victimize people for being Jewish. The Nine of Cups. So they did say that? Yeah, that's what I heard. I never read it, but that's what I've always heard. There is something in his mind. This is the delusion, and it's mental. These are not swords, though, but I do have the Nine of Swords in his outcome. But this is like in his head. He wants it to be a certain way, and it's not. This could be that lady, Marcia Ambrosius, what is her name? Martha something. Anyway, Mrs. Miller. 10 of Disc. It definitely has something to do with home. Ace of Swords. There's some deception. And the truth is what's causing the hiccups. He's trying to get away with something. And those around him know about it, and it's caused some dissension. And this might even be Marcia or Martha, whatever her name is. The Hangman. It's his fear, being stuck. He fears being stuck. You're already stuck. His hopes is that the Queen of Wands, so this is indeed a woman. This is indeed a woman. He wants this person on his side. Six of Swords, transition. Behind it, the Hierophant. It's something to do with morals and the government. So there is some other grotesque policy that he probably wants to put into place, and he can't. But he's also being, there's some people arguing with him. This, and it might not be her, because she said that this come out of her mouth. That she said that the people at the border, the immigrants, are like an angry mob or something like that. She compared them to a mob, basically. So they are of the same mind. But there's some news. Page of Wands. That's your word of warning. So whatever this is that you're trying to risk getting caught for, just know that you will be caught. Like, it's going to be pretty gross, so I don't want you to do it, but at the same time, I kind of want you to at least try to do it. That way you get caught and you go away. But if somebody's going to suffer at the hands, then, let's not. Wheel of Fortune. So your fates are turning, and not for the good. Seven of Cups and Nine of Swords. So, yeah. Let's see. There is something right now he feels as though he's forced to walk away from, but he is going to communicate this to other people. But he's going to come back to it, because at some point someone will embolden him or give him the right tools to do the job. This is down the line. But the law stands in his way. So this is something potentially not just illegal, but what's the word? Inhumanitarian. Interesting. Somebody's going to help you, though. And then the news will come out. Now, here's the problem. The news will come out, but that means nothing. The news has come out about Donald Trump for how long now? And he's still there. So knowing things and doing things are completely different. Good night, Shari. The law does stand in his way, though. So, now I did a reading, one of you suggested, on what would be happening around, or what are the signs around the time that Donald Trump is on his way out. And one of them was a bit of civil unrest. Good night, JR. A manicure for the live stream? No. So, civil unrest. Donald Trump is circulating quotes Invoking civil war-like fracture is what CNN has posted. I did see there will be some civil unrest. When I will end on a positive note, when he is on his way out. So, is that what's going to happen? Does he indeed want this? There's the lovers. So like-minded people. This is what I said, though. Is that like-minded people will hit the streets and said, oh my God, you took out my president, now I'm angry. The Hierophant. It will come from the top. So this is him sort of driving that motion. I think he should be also, if anything happens, now this is just me talking out the side of my face, but if anything happens, I think he should be charged with inciting a riot. Three of Pentacles. Now this is me being conspiratorial now. This feels a bit like they could pay some people to do some damage. They pay people for the rallies. I think they could pay people for this too. This is Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles commissions another person for their work. Eight of Swords, trapped and bound, powerless, unable to resist, self-made cage. Queen of Cups, support system. Ten of Cups, happy home, happy life. The Fear, Three of Wands, plans. There's your fighting and unrest in the environment. Five of Swords, win at all costs. This is not about causing damage. This is about him being put back in. And then Page of Cups. It ends on a positive note, though. So this is not something that is going to cause civil war. That's what they've been pushing for, you know, the whole Dylan Roof. That's what he said he was trying to do. That's not going to happen. They are going to try, but no. Because you will see, like you have been seeing through his whole presidency, they are not the majority. Not even a little bit. Now, I had Pompeo is said to be on that Ukraine call. Interesting. I don't know what that means for him. Yeah, Pompeo is. Yeah. Pompeo. What does that mean? Does it mean anything bad for you? Good for you? What? Five of Pentacles. Hardship. Singled out. Picked out to be picked on. You've been thrown out in the cold. Eight of Wands. All about communication. That's what takes you down. Ace of Pentacles. Now, okay, I'm about to say, what about this has something to do with money? Yeah, it was all about withholding money if they didn't do what they wanted them to. Yeah. There's a major change. He was in a dark room, you say? Well, there he is. Peekaboo, I see you. Sun. Illumination crowns it all. Queen of Cups. He does have some support. The fear is the Knight of Swords. He's not prepared, though. He's not prepared. Giuliani. He's not prepared. Things are moving too fast. Knight of Cups. So yeah, it looks better than it is. So I think he feels as though with his support, that his support can help him in a way that it actually can't. And so what's going to get him is a false sense of security. And a false sense of security is very dangerous for these type of people because they make bigger mistakes because they think they're okay. Everybody seems to think they're Donald Trump too. Who was that talk? Was that Jen who said that? Somebody, either Jen or Lena said that everybody thinks they're Donald Trump. Everybody thinks I'm going to get away with it because you're not Donald Trump. Look at Mike Flynn, Mike Cohen, all these other people. You're not Donald Trump. You don't get away with things just because. Two of Cups is in his hopes, so he wants that bond, that partnership. But in your outcome is the Seven of Swords, so you're going to have to come up with a strategy in order to get away with this, which means that something bigger is coming out of this situation than just, oh, he was on the call. Well, big deal. No, it's going to be a big deal, and it is going to cause you to, oh, that's an interesting question. Is he the next one to be fired? So will you be fired or will you quit? Two of Cups, Five of Pentacles. So, good. Yes, but I don't know when. There's the Five of Pentacles. That's the hardship. So he will be thrown out. There will be a gigantic change in him. There is some illumination on what he has done. There's him. The reason this happens is he gets caught up with someone else. This is the Two of Cups. So there is that unity. He gets caught up with someone else. It is about his communications that what starts the downward spiral. So I think so. Oh, he lied about it. Yeah. So I'm going to end on a positive note. So there's 237 of us. Let's get a message we can all walk away with. In the midst of the ugly, we have to remember the world is still beautiful. We still get good days and bad days and sunrises and sunsets. For those with ears to hear, there's still baby laughter. Greatest sound in the world. I was meant to do this earlier, Noel, but I forgot today was the first. I was going to do a live on the first of the month, and it wasn't until like 7:30 that I seen that the clock or the calendar had changed. So anyway, life is good. Do a live on Halloween. I shall try. Life is still very precious. As I said before, I shall say again, be grateful for anything you have and everything you don't. You have life. Even if it's not the greatest, even if it's not the brightest, even if it's not the biggest and the best, you still have it. Keep in mind that there is a child somewhere laying in a hospital bed that wants nothing more than to wake up the next day, and probably won't. We have life. We have breath. We draw breath. Be grateful. First card we get, Yang, action. Leading the charge. Soulmates, friends, those you can rely upon. All that glitters. Everything is not as it seems. Everything is not as it seems. Life is not that awful. Thank you, Hilda. Sometimes in life, what we need is just to take stock of what we have. The people in our lives, the people that are not in our lives, that shouldn't be because they were causing damage and trouble. The actions we take, the mask we wear to cover up that which we hide. But there's somebody out there who understands. There's somebody out there who can hold your hand through life storms, even if they're not a physical person. There's still someone there who can take the lead, take the action, take the burden off of you, at least for half an hour, to let you forget that, life is crazy sometimes. Sometimes everything that glitters is not gold, but sometimes gold is not what you need. Sometimes all you need is a kind word. Sometimes all you need is appreciation, because you have life. Remember that going forward. Remember that always. Be grateful for anything you have and everything you don't. Good night. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll try to do this on time next time, but we shall see. That's the way things go. Thank you, and good night.